As human beings, we have various levels of expectations from the people we move with. A child has some expectations on the parent. As a grown up, we have some expectations on our spouses, on our children, on our co-workers, on our boss, and so on. And when they do not meet those expectations, it has some impact on us. And when that impact is dear to us, it leads to frustration. An unresolved frustration that sustains for a longer period of time results in us having bitterness towards the very same people that we hold dear to our hearts. Based on my past experiences and after doing some serious thinking, I have come up with a 3-step strategy to not let a sustained frustration from turning into a bitterness. And these are simple 3 steps. Sit down, stand up, and give. What does sit down mean? As we saw, frustration is an unmet expectation that we have on somebody else. So when you say sit down, here it means that I have to put my expectations down and come to a base level. And it's very hard for us to lower our expectation and come to a base level because some of these expectations we have is so basic that how can we even lower it further down? And that is where a self-realization comes handy. Over these years, I have developed 3 types of thought strategies that helps me lower my expectations. Number 1 is think of all the times where I have failed. Now, how does that help in lowering the expectation? You see, when we expect something from somebody else, we are anticipating a success when they meet that expectation. Having said that, not always our thoughts lead to success. Many a times what we think will lead to success, in fact, has led to failure. A person who consistently fails will relegate all control to another person and will start following. So when I start thinking about all the times I failed, it helps me realize maybe my thought strategy here is not going to lead in success. Therefore, I am going to let the other person lead the way they think is better. Which in essence, I have removed my expectations from them and I am letting them drive the way they think best. The second strategy I have to lower expectations is to remember the place where we started our life. Every one of us would have started our career or life at a very lowly state and slowly built ourselves to where we are today. We have these expectations on others because of who we are today. Now, if we take that today from us and roll us back to where we started our life or career, then we will realize that at that place, we will not have the very same expectations we have today. A husband has some expectations from his wife because he has married this person and has lived his life providing for the family and has earned that respect. However, if the husband thinks back to a day when he did not yet get married and he was trying to impress this girl, the expectations that he had at that point is not the same that he has today. So thinking back and putting ourselves to the lowest point where we started our life will reset our expectations and lower it down. And the third strategy I use to lower my expectations is to remember the time where I was close to death. If you have gone through experiences where you felt death was so close, then you will realize once you die, all your expectations are brought down to zero. When you go through a situation where we brushed close to death, then it makes us easy to lower all expectations from others and live the life to the fullest. Now that we have used one of these strategies and lowered our expectations and sit down, the next step is to stand up. What does that mean? Should we bring the expectations back again? No. Once you have come down and lowered yourself emotionally, then rise up by praising and adoring and worshiping God. So spend more time in listening to praise and worship songs, or talk to people about how great God is, or listen to sermons or thoughts that show the greatness of God. Once you've raised yourself up with the joy and awe of God, it takes you out of the box of frustration that you have been dealing with. And this puts you in a better situation than banging your head in a spiral of frustration. However, the rubber hits the road at some point. You'll have to meet the same person again. And once you meet the same person again, it is possible for those thoughts of frustration to come back up. That's where the third step helps. And the third step is to give. Now that you have lowered your expectations from that person and you've risen up with the joy of the Lord, give to the person that caused you the pain by doing what will make them happy. And this is not something that you wanted, it is something that they wanted. By doing these three steps, you are not going to get what you wanted in the relationships that you have with that person, but it is going to help you not cause your frustration to turn into bitterness. At the core of all these steps is the four-letter word LOVE. At all points, let's embrace love, which is not about what you want. It is about giving what they want. Thank you.